What is going on, YouTube? PPS back here. It is what? It's already Monday, man. It's already back here. We're back on a new week. Um, Honestly, probably our last week before we start football stuff. Probably doing maybe a little college football, NFL stuff. So, yeah, it's already that time. Probably our last full week of Past the Prop MLB before football season comes. I know, obviously, it's in your name, Stu, but Monotone Football is coming back, ready to go. How you feeling?
Yeah, it couldn't be better, man. It's my time of year. Obviously I very much enjoy the baseball grind, the basketball grind a little bit less, let's be honest. But yeah, no, NFL is really kind of when it all happens. It'll be a fun year. And, preseason, it's fun, but you get a little tired of it, right? Once they put in the third string quarterback that you're never going to see again, you're a little bit like, okay, we can move on from this one. But it is fun to see those starters get in there for those first couple of drives. It's good. It'll be good. We still got some baseball. Obviously, playoff baseball is still around the corner too, so that'll obviously be fun when we get there. But for now, we're kind of getting close to the dog days a little bit of baseball, especially with these September call-ups. Betting is going to get tough pretty soon, but that's okay. We got football there, so it'll be great. We'll always have bets for you guys, no matter what sport it is. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think college is this next week, right? I think next week,
I
or
believe so.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's this weekend. I don't know, but it's one of these. I know doing all the looking at the future stuff. We did our future video like a couple months ago already for our NFL bets. If you guys didn't see that yet, make sure you go check that one out. I know we've talked about it a few times, but yeah, it's coming up, man. This is. I think there's the games that are neutral stadiums, right? There's the neutral stadium games probably this weekend. But last real weekend before everything really gets ramped up, which will be that next one, right? Coming up on that Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
But yeah, we're going to have, we'll have all 3 days still going for our NFL stuff. I know we were going to talk about this a little bit, kind of about what our NFL schedule is going to look like. We'll still be doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Still have times to work out, I believe, right? We still got to figure that out. Stu, we still got a little bit yet?
Oh, yeah. Still got a couple details to, lock down right here. But what we do know is, last year we had one show week. This year, obviously, we're going to give it more information, right? We love doing this shit. We love giving bets. We love talking to you guys. So we're going to have stuff for Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, and obviously the huge main slate that is Sunday football, all of it. It'll be fun to talk about this year. And yeah, the more content, the better. The more, obviously not the more bets, the better, but we're going to have those bets. So we might as well talk about them with you guys. So it'll be a good year, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, Monday, obviously, we'll probably do Monday Night Football stuff, right? That's pretty easy to talk about there. Obviously, being able to recap our Friday show as well. Wednesday, I think we're going to do a little bit more DFS version type of the show of what we're going to be backing, where we're going to be attacking. We might have giveaways. I think we'll do giveaways on Wednesday, so make sure you're in here on our Wednesday show. We'll do that weekly. We'll do a weekly giveaway on Wednesday. Obviously, it will come around on Sunday because we obviously have stuff to do with the games. And then Friday, you guys know how our Friday show goes. It's usually pretty long, but it's also mostly Q&A. I think like 20 minutes of each one of those shows was Q&A of just getting questions from you guys and hopefully being able to answer them to the best of our knowledge here. So that will be our Sunday stuff. We will have that for the Friday show. And yeah, so it's going to be the same thing. Obviously, make sure you're following both of us so we can show you guys what times those will be at on those days. But we got a little bit of time here letting people come in. Who's those guys in preseason? I know you're watching preseason a little bit more than me. Who are those guys you're looking at right now?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to make sure, the chat was kind of caught up on what we're caught up with. I know not everyone has time to be paying attention to the preseason. There's obviously a lot of stories going around. I think the number one story that I see all over Twitter, it hits a little bit close to home right here. Antonio Gibson looks like he's losing his job to a third round running back that was picked. And it's not even one of those situations where Gibson was chosen by the old coach, right? He was chosen by Rivera. And I mean, he's playing with the second teamers 2 weeks in a row. He's been practicing on special teams, which is not something you normally do to your confident running back one. And Robinson looked good. I was reading the recap from PFF yesterday. Only 9 carries, but 27 yards after contact on those 9 carries is obviously going to be pretty impressive. The thing about Gibson, I'm going to defend Gibson, right? He's a good running back, and I think he has potential, but I don't know if that potential is going to be in DC. We like running between the tackles, and Gibson was a wide receiver in college. Those were never skills he refined. He's a good pass catcher, and he's good in space. We never seemingly wanted to use him in space, and Robinson, we don't need to use him in space. So I think we're all kind of witnessing, Gibson lose his job, and I think if you're drafting right now, best ball season long, you don't want Antonio Gibson. You really don't, especially with that name value. Someone in your league will grab him, someone that hasn't been paying attention to closer. Even if they have, they see, hey, Gibson, who's Brian Ross? I don't even know who that is. And they're going to draft him in like the 5th round, and they're going to be a little bit sad. So I would be advising everyone out there to be avoiding that Antonio Gibson right now.
Yeah, no, I'm one of those guys who got Gibson. I did some early best balls. I got him in it was later. I got him at a good ADP for what it was. Obviously, it's not good now, but I mean, I also was grabbing Chase Edmonds and pick 100. I was grabbing him, and now he's like 70. So that's the perks and the bad stuff of doing an early best ball, because my best ball lineup is pretty good, but Gibson now is going to probably be straight interchanged with Chase Edmonds, because Chase Edmonds is flying. That stock is flying up those boards. He's like, 20 positions higher? I think I'm seeing him at like 70 now, which is unreal. But my biggest takeaway, I mentioned to you earlier, is just how good Gabe Davis looked. I did not expect him to look. I mean, everybody's been talking so much hype on him. We've seen him. His last game we saw, he cooked. But, man, you just don't expect that all the time, though, right? Because he should have had way bigger numbers and stuff like that last year. But Gabe Davis, dude, just absolutely torched his one possession right. He had his touchdown, 60 yards. I think he had 2 or 3 receptions of Allen's 4, and just absolutely just ran down that field, man. It was pretty impressive to watch.
Yeah, he's been a guy that's tough for me. Obviously, that 4-touchdown game last year kind of lit the world on fire. Davis was kind of quietly making money for guys like you and me who were grinding it out every week and saw that this guy was good. But you're not going to be able to grind that out. The whole world knows that this guy is the real deal right now. And yeah, he's showing it. I mean, it's interesting for Diggs, right? Because Diggs is still being drafted around that turn in the first, second round at the very end right there. And for a little bit, I was starting to wonder, are we devaluing Diggs a little bit too much? Because all the hype is on everyone else on that team. The hype is on this guy. It's on McKenzie, even a little bit on Knox. People are kind of going away from Diggs, but maybe that might be actually the right choice at this point. It's kind of interesting to see. Maybe Diggs is still the guy, right? He's still, I think that's pretty clear. He's still the best wide receiver on this team, but it'll be interesting to see how that split actually ends up turning out.
My last one before we get going here, we start getting into some baseball, is what's your thoughts on the Browns stuff? Obviously, all of that stuff happening, and this is going to be a really bad team. Are you drafting any Browns? I saw people talking about Bell. Looked fantastic in preseason. Obviously, we have a top offensive line. You still got Chubb and Hunt back there. There's a lot of talent here, but it's just with no quarterback really to drive this train. They have to run the ball, right? And it's tough because obviously you don't know how good quarterback play is going to be, at least for the first 10 weeks or 11 weeks. Are you drafting any Browns? I'm completely off. I'm staying completely away personally. But, I mean, there could be some good value because there'd be a lot of people thinking like I do.
Well, yeah, and doesn't Hunt want a new contract too? I believe I read that a week ago.
He asked for a trade.
I think so, because he wanted a new contract, even though they just gave him one the other year. So that'll be interesting. For me, I think the Browns, kind of like some of these other teams with very clustered rosters that are a little confusing, even like the Steelers in their own division, and maybe even like the Texans, right? Who it's very unclear who's the guy in what position. I think our edge really comes on in week-to-week betting at that point, right? We kind of wait it out. I don't really need a whole lot of exposure to some of these guys. If they fall far enough, I like Njoku as a tight end a little bit as a late flyer. But the thing about that is we like Njoku every year as a late flyer, and it never seems to work out.
No, never.
The hype's coming in training camp a little bit more this year. As for Bell, I don't really buy that. I don't think this is an offense that can support as many wide receivers until Watson comes back. And even when Watson comes back, who knows how good this guy's going to be? I mean, we saw him play a couple snaps in preseason. He looked terrible, right? He hasn't played in 2 years now. It'll be interesting to see how this offense goes, but for me, it's going to be probably a pass. I could see Chubb if he falls a little bit in the first round, just because he is that workhorse, but he doesn't catch passes, and we need these guys to catch passes. So it's a cluttered running back room, and it's a wide receiver room that I don't trust. Cooper is interesting. Amari Cooper obviously traded over. He's been nothing but consistent his whole career. But man, I don't know if I want to roll the dice right there. It'd have to probably fall like a round below ADP for me to be like, fine, I'll go with Amari Cooper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. No, yeah, I'm just completely off of everything there. I just don't even want anything to deal with it. But yeah, might be those DFS cheap guys that you throw into some lineups here and there, but that's pretty much about it.
Well, speaking of one real cheap guy, before we move on, I feel like we have to mention this guy, Isaiah Likely, the third or fourth round tight end from Coastal Carolina, coming out to Tight End University, which is the Ravens, right? The undefeated preseason legends, the Ravens. Obviously, Mark Andrews is the alpha. I don't know if we should be overreacting or underreacting to this, because what they've shown historically, especially with how bad that wide receiver core is this year, is that they're going to use multiple tight ends, right? And I'm not saying this is a huge hit to Mark Andrews, but this Likely guy's done nothing but absolutely ball out in preseason. And Harbaugh definitely is one of those guys that takes this seriously. I mean, they're fucking undefeated over the last 21 games. He definitely cares about this. So to see this guy go out there and ball out, I think he's legit. You know, I think he's obviously a rookie, and tight ends develop a little bit slower in the NFL, but this guy's shown out already. I think he's earned himself at least a small role. I'm not saying he's worth drafting, but I think it is worth noting for a footnote in the Mark Andrews kind of catalog. It's like, there's this other guy, and he's not going to do nothing there. So I'm curious what you think, but I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid quite yet. I understand he's a rookie tight end, but he's balling out there.
Might be like a second to last round, like best ball grab, maybe just as a handcuff if you have Andrews. But I'm not really on that, because obviously Mark Andrews is so, like, dude, his rapport with Lamar Jackson is so good. I don't know if he's going to eat into those targets. Obviously, Mark Andrews has been one of the top 3 tight ends fantasy-wise the last, 2 years. It's just tough for me to think that they're going to be able to feature 2 tight ends and do it well. I think the only other guy I seen was freaking the Patriots when they had Hernandez and Gronk, when they had Tom Brady chucking the ball around there. I just don't know if there's going to be enough offensive volume on the pass side to truly get it, especially when they're going to have Edwards will be back. I think they talked about him being back at least early on in the season here. I know that the injuries are all coming back from all those running backs. I know they hurt like 4 backs last year. Yeah. J.K. Dobbins obviously being number 1 probably. But I think Gus Edwards, they said, was like the first couple weeks he'll be ready to roll. And we got Ryan in here. Did you see that? ETN looked pretty decent. He had a couple broken tackles. Obviously, that Jaguars line needs a little bit of work yet. But, I mean, he looked explosive, man. He was running through guys. He was able to make people miss in space. But, yeah, I mean, I did read about that Robinson news, and that does take a little bit off of him for sure.
Yeah, I like ETN. He's a talented guy. My biggest problem is at ADP, it is hard to get exposure to him unless you're playing in like a home league. Any league with people that either are sharp or think they're sharp, they're drafting this guy really high. I mean, his best ball ADP is very insane. I mean, it's and I understand the hype. I understand the appeal. I like the guy. I think he's talented. He obviously can catch passes and run the ball effectively. That's kind of the big appeal, right? It seems like he's going to be used in a pretty high capacity kind of pass catching role for a running back, which is what's so interesting. Robinson, like you said, definitely does kind of cut that down a little bit, but we don't know how he's going to recover from this injury. It's not like Robinson ever came in with the highest prospect pedigree. Obviously, he came in as an undrafted guy with a former administration, right? So he's coming into a new system now. He's going to kind of have to earn his role back, and ETN provides a lot of, dynamic possibilities. So I like ETN, but at ADP right now, it's hard for me to get there when so many guys are, begging to get there. I'm just kind of like, if he falls to me, I'll do it because I like the prospects, I like the talent, but I'm not going to reach, 18 picks to get ETN in like the end of the second round or something like that. Like we're seeing some kind of crazy people do. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think he'll be a good over 2.5, over 3.5 pass or receiving or receptions kind of guy. That'll be fun, I think.
Yeah, I'm getting my exposure to the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence, man. I have him as my second quarterback in almost every best ball league, dude. I've been trying to get him. I've been going out of my way to get him. But I have no other. I haven't been able to get ETN. Dude. I just haven't. There's just. Yeah. I think it's just too high, and people are drafting him at that number every single time. So I'll pass. I did grab once I did see this news. I had one best ball draft since then, and I took. Robinson in like the second to last round. He was still sitting around there. And I just grabbed him just in case. You never know. I mean, ETN does have those injury issues as well. So, I mean,
yep.
All right, guys, quick turnover. Flipping over. We got 2 plays, 1 each for MLB. For each of us here, we'll be popping those out for you guys here. But let's take a look who's on in here. We got Jay in the chat here. We got Jake in here. He did not make our card today, actually. But he did make I have him on my YouTube play of the day for the over in the game. Jay's talking about his boy Harold there. Finesse the Books, welcome, man. Hope you're doing well. Troy Hermo, I know I see you on Twitter sometimes too, for sure. We got Jay, obviously always in the chat here with us. Appreciate all your questions that you guys brought in here. And Brendan bringing up Njoku never pays off. He is, dude. He's good for one DFS slate breaking day a week.
Yeah.
For a year. Yeah. And if you don't have him, you suck and you lose. But he's still rostered like 15% of the time when he should be rostered like 1%. But yeah, I've been burned on the Njoku train enough to know that. So yeah, we just got Jay talking about Harold. We're gonna go right to him and kick it off to you for your one play today, Mono.
Yeah, we're going Jeff McNiel and Harold Ramirez both to record a hit one. Right here, we're getting this at plus 101, which obviously I think is some pretty nice value right here. Harold Ramirez, we'll start out with him because, like you said, Jay mentioned him in chatting. 377 versus left-handed pitching and 337, I believe, on the season right here. That would obviously be number one if he qualified for the at-bat number. He's had some injury problems this year, so we do have to remember the sample size is a little bit smaller right here. But Ramirez has been good, man, since coming back from injury. He's played 5 games. The last 3 of them have been multi-hit games, and he's obviously recorded a hit in each one of those games. This is one of those guys we love to talk about here. He's not going up there trying to hit home runs. He's not trying to hit at 400 feet. He's hitting singles to all parts of the ballpark, right? Going up there with a very nice compact swing, and he gets the job done. So obviously love to see that. 370 plus against left-handed pitching this season is what we love to see as well. There's a lot of guys in the slate. I know they mentioned Goldie too against the lefty. We're getting a surprisingly large amount of lefties for such a small slate today, but I think Harold Ramirez is in prime position to take care of that. And obviously I could drop, like, he has like a hit in 22 of his last 25 games, but he's only been back for 5 games. So we can really only, take that sample size with a grain of salt. But since he's come back, he's got the job done every single game. I normally like to wait a game or two to see how these guys come out the gate. And he clearly came out the gate firing. This Rays lineup is now looking back to how it was a little bit early in the year. It's a little bit scary now, right? We got Yandy Diaz up there. We got Manny up there. We got Ramirez up there. That's a strong 1-2-3 of guys that are all trying to get on base, which obviously means walking them is a little harder. Plus, Harold Ramirez doesn't really walk that much, which is also what we'd love to see. Moving on to Jeff McNeil. He might be one of the hottest hitters in baseball right here, and I feel like it's kind of going under the radar. I've now played him 2 days straight. I played him in both of the weekend games against the Phillies. And obviously the New York Yankees do have some good pitchers, but Domingo Germán is not a guy I'm as scared of right now. I mean, he's coming in. He's had an okay start so far, but he definitely hasn't established himself as the kind of guy, he was before, where he's a little bit more scary right here. He's going to come at you with a curveball, 4-seam changeup combination to left-handed batters right here. And luckily for us, those are pretty good pitches for McNeil right here. Against the right-handed curveball, hitting 500 this season, 286 against the 4-seam fastball, and 375 against the changeup. We know that curveball is Herman's best pitch right here, or maybe his favorite. I don't know if you want to say it's his best, but he's hitting 500 against that pitch. That is obviously very nice to see against the righty curveball this season. Beyond that, when a player's doing good, right? When you check their splits, right? This guy's coming in here 425 in the month of August. We're not 2 days into August anymore. We're 22 games into August right here, or 22 days into August right here. McNiel has been on fire right now, and to get him at such a disrespectful price right here, I'm signing up every day of the week. I know this game is juiced to the under, right? We have Scherzer on one side, Herman on the other, but I mean, we're on the way less scary side, right? We're not going up against Max Scherzer right here, but he's being priced like it. Also, obviously not going too far, but hitting way better on the road, 352 this season. I like both these guys. To get this at plus money felt kind of like a joke, so I'm going to take advantage of that and lock this one in early.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. My only thing with Herman is he's just so inconsistent in the strike zone that it's like I'm almost nervous because McNeil's got so good of an eye up there too, which also could mean he could be in a ton of 3-1 counts and get hits as well. I mean, it's not obviously detrimental, but and the Yankees bullpen obviously hasn't been as good as it was when it started. Right, you have Michael King out, you have Clay Holmes out. Right, those are two high end arms there too. So you got that. And yeah, Herman's just really not. I think you put it nicely. I don't think he's been good at all. He's been terrible. And he's at home in the small ballpark. Even Jeff McNiel could put one out of here too, right? So it's a very, very small park. Obviously, that definitely favors the hitters here. But yeah, I like it. I like it. I haven't been on the Herald train like you have, but obviously been doing pretty well with it there. In my one spot today, talking about one of the hottest hitters in baseball, dude, Jose Miranda. No one talks about this dude. This guy's batting cleanup in a team who's in a playoff race. I love to see him in that cleanup spot. He should not be in 6. I saw him in the 6 hole for some of these games. I'm like, dude, you need him. You need him up there. I was looking at Miranda's numbers here from this whole season. First month of the season, he batted 176. Right, everybody kind of had a crappy first month. Every single month since then, he's been over 300, 306, 353, 310 so far this month. Right, he got a hit in 9 of his last 10 games, 13 of his last 15. Right. Dude is raking right now. Absolutely raking. It doesn't matter who he's facing. I mean, you're seeing multi-hit games in a lot of these, right? He had a 3-hit game last week. He had 4 2-hit games the week prior. I mean, this dude is just raking guys right now. And obviously, facing off against a lefty again tonight. I like that a lot. He's 278 batting average, but he has a 150 WRC or 146 WRC plus against them. So obviously much better than average. And obviously, Sonny Gray's on the bump for them too. So usually they've been scoring runs for Sonny Gray lately, which I do like to see. As much as I don't like to say it, some guys get run support, some of them don't, right? I say it for DeGrom, right? When you have a guy like that who's up there, he never gets run support because you don't need to really, right? Some of these games you have to go out there and expect we have to score 10 runs to win this game, right? Sonny Gray has been really, really good. But Reagans is a new guy, right? He's still kind of getting his feet wet in the league here. And there's a lot of right-handed pop at the top of this order. So you're going to go through Buxton. You're going to have to deal with Arias, Correa, and then go to Miranda here. Just a lot of stuff to deal with. Miranda has been hitting the ball well, all sides of the field. And especially as a first baseman so far this year. As a first baseman, he's been batting 305. I know they've been moving him around first and third base. So I know it's weird, but some guys just hit better when they're in a certain spot, or some of them just hit worse when they're a DH. It's been crazy. It's really been weird. As much as I've watched a ton of baseball, right? It's just like sometimes you just like, oh, this guy's at third base, he's gonna hit better, right? But 172 WRC plus since the second half of the season has started. He's been really, really good with a 347 average. I think he's gonna obviously do pretty well tonight. And then I always call him Jeremy. I don't know why. I always think it's Jeremy Springs, but it's Jeffrey Springs. Only 5 Ks here against this Angels lineup. Obviously, I think this is getting a bump down because Trout's in there now, but that doesn't really scare me that much. Trout was striking out at a high 20s clip anyway. But an elite changeup. Obviously, his best pitch, a 40% whiff rate with that changeup. And obviously, the Angels are. I don't know how I would put it. I'm trying to be like you and be a little bit nicer on my way of describing things. Like when I sent you the text yesterday about Morikawa, that guy's the worst putter I've ever seen. I just can't give you like an easy and nice way of saying things, right? Jeffrey Springs is nasty, right? The Angels are just bad. They're just bad. There's nowhere else to say about them right now. They're the third worst hitting team versus lefties. And they have about a 27% strikeout rate as a team versus lefties. Sign me up for Jeffrey Springs. 5 straight games he's hit this number.
Yeah, no, I mean, Springs, like you said, I think nasty is the perfect word. He's been one of those guys that he's been very consistent for these strikeouts, especially when you bring him down one. I mean, they were sitting at 4.5 for a lot of the season right here, and that was obviously a wrong number. He had that innings kind of cap a little bit earlier, but that's now come off. And like you said, Miranda's one of those guys that I feel like I'm missing the train on. You know, when you see, like, actually, well, I haven't seen really anyone on him, but I know you're mentioning it, that he's been really good.
2 times.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Like I meant outside of this show, the general public, but sometimes you feel like you missed the bus, and I don't ever want to be the guy that's trying to jump on the back of the bus right here. And I'm worried it's already left the station, but you're right. This guy is not being talked about at all. And like you said, after that first bad month of the season, it's been nothing but trending upwards since then. So I loved obviously taking advantage of these guys. Something I talk about a lot in my articles. You want to try to find these smaller market guys, right? Even the Rays of the world, but like you said, the Twins, the Guardians, a lot of these guys, it takes the books a long time to catch up because frankly, not as many people care as they do when Aaron Judge hits 18 home runs in 3 weeks and his number is, plus 140 to hit a home run. So that's the way the world works. And I like that we're taking advantage of it right here. Definitely like this combo, 100%.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, for sure, Jay. Definitely underrated guys, for sure. Exactly what you said there, Stu, for sure. I couldn't believe that when I looked at his first month because I was like, has this been doing this for so long? Because I've only been backing him for the past 6 weeks since I picked him up in fantasy. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, holy crap, dude. It's been every single month since that bad one. But a lot of people started terrible this year, which is kind of how it was. All right, we're to our Pikkit spots. We're done with plays. Only had one apiece. So here are two Pikkit spots here, and I'll kick it to you, Monotone, with our favorite bet of the day, huh?
Yeah, okay, guys. I know we're all telling you to go over Pikkit, but we're not telling you to smash these nerfies, okay? We told you. We kind of stay away from these bets right here. I don't really love talking about these because I just, like we've talked about before, I never bet this market at all. Every once in a while, I'll throw in a hit parlay and I'll match it with one team's, like not both teams, right? Just one team. Like when we get like the Athletics versus someone real good, that's when I'll do it. But we obviously have Scherzer on the bump right here against the Yankees team that is struggling. So I feel like that side is pretty covered right now. But the thing is, any one of these guys in this Yankees home lineup could just hit a home run, like in their first at bat, which makes it so tough for me. Like you said, Domingo has not been great this season. I'm going to tail the public right here, but I don't really love it. I don't really love no runs first inning with teams that have so much potential to hit these home runs. But I do believe Scherzer. The thing, I've watched so much Max Scherzer. If you're going to get to him, you get to him in the first inning. That's the thing. I don't want to bet this at all. I'll tell the public, though. I'm going to trust that you guys know what you're doing on Pikkit. All of you that signed up with code PTP, I'm going to trust that you guys know what you're doing. So I'll tail right here, but I hate this market, man. I'm going to start banning this from the Taylor fade.
Yeah, I might just fade it because, I mean, why not? I mean, you just said it right there. I mean, you have to face a judge, right? Got DJ LeMahieu, who's raking. You have Anthony Rizzo, who he has to face, right? And they're playing in the smallest ballpark in the MLB. It's playing in a sandbox out there, dude.
Yeah.
And the same thing. You're going to have to deal with Lindor. You could see Alonso. You have Starling Marte, who's been hitting very, very well, right? All these dudes, all they have to do is run into one ball. And you said it exactly what I was going to say. Scherzer, you have to get these aces early. If you don't get them early, you're not getting them at all. So I just can't trust it in this small park, dude. I can't. I'll bet better at yes runs first inning, I guess. All right, second one, Cardinals money line. I will be fading this one as well. I obviously I am saying this with my heart. I am not betting this. Right, this is a plus 150 spot for the Cubs. I think both guys get hit here. I just think this Jordan Montgomery hype is getting a little bit out of hand. Right, he's had 2 good starts with the Cardinals. Cubs, are much, much, much better at home. We've said that's a lot, right? They're way better at home. And also, I want to throw something in here. I can grab Ian Happ right now to get a hit at minus 140. What type of sorcery is this, dude? How are you not going to give this? That's so disrespectful, dude. Ian Happ at minus 140 straight just to get a hit is crazy to me. I get it. Jordan Montgomery's been good, but he has not been that. I don't think anybody's that good to just throw the 3-hitter of this lineup to get a hit at minus 140 is ridiculous. I talked about this in my video this morning. Montgomery's been good, but against righties, he's been league average. Nothing crazy, right? He's got like a 185, I think, batting average versus lefties. But it's like 260 versus righties, so it's like nothing crazy. And he's had 2 pretty favorable matchups here too early on. Obviously, the Brewers can't hit lefties. Talked about that at extent because I watched too many Brewer games where he gets lit up and the Brewers can't hit a lefty. Mind you, Julio Urias is on the bump against the Brewers tonight. Take the Brewers' first 5 team total under, even though I don't care if it's minus 2,000. Those guys are not going to score 2 runs.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, man, because it's kind of asking, do we buy the Montgomery hype? And also, I know nobody cares about the Cubs, but Smiley's been pitching pretty well this season, right? Obviously, he's had some injury stuff, but when he has been back, he's been getting the job done. That Hap look is very interesting, though. Minus 40. If I had to guess, his average, at home versus lefties is probably 360, 370. Something.
Yes, I know. It doesn't make sense. Minus 140. I literally had a double take. I had to click it and then plug in money because I thought it was the wrong name.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, dude. That's so disrespectful.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't buy the Montgomery hype to this level. But I do still think he's probably they have the pitching advantage right here.
For sure. For sure.
You said, but the thing is, you're obviously getting the odds to kind of reflect that. This is a close one. I'm going to still back the Cardinals right here. The thing about it is, if I have to trust one team that's good versus lefties or another team that's good versus lefties, I'll take the team with Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt. 10 out of 10 days of the week. Obviously, a little bit more juiced up, probably something you'd want to pair maybe with an Ian Happ hit. You obviously get that reverse correlation right there, which the books reward you with. I don't know if I'm flashing right now. My screen just turned purple. But anyway, we'll work through that to pretty much say I'm going to be tailing the Cardinals money line. I agree with you. I think the Montgomery hype train is maybe left the station a little bit too much, but the guy has still shown he's at worst a solid pitcher this season. It is interesting, though, that the public has changed so quickly on this. We saw him just be okay all season long, right? He was just okay. And now he's had 2 great games, and you're kind of seeing it like, whoa, this guy is legit. But I obviously think we need a little bit larger sample size, but I do think they take care of business against the Cubs today.
Yeah, no, that was literally the first 2 minutes of my video this morning were like, why are you guys saying Jordan Montgomery switches a team uniform and is now the best pitcher in the MLB, dude?
Yeah.
It does not make any sense. We've had 4 years of sample size on him being an average pitcher, and now we just think he's crazy out there. But, yep, everything's good. Yep, Jay is looking like he's going to back a yes runs first inning with me. He's saying Lindor's going Yabo. I would definitely like that. We'll take that. Smash that like. Appreciate it, Chris. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys could, smash that quick, and we're going to get through our recap and to our home run spots for the day. Going to be a quick one here, right? We just have our 1 spot apiece, so I'll kick it to you, Monotone.
Jeff McNiel and Harold Ramirez, both these guys record. Hey, this is plus 101 over on FanDuel. I'm going to be tailing the public right here. Not very confidently, but I need to trust you guys sometimes, so we'll do it. And then going with Cardinals money line. Also, I guess I'm double tailing the public right here, putting a lot of faith in all you legendary people that signed up for Pikkit Sports with code PTP. All
right, then it is my turn. I will be on Jeffrey Springs, 5 strikeouts, and Jose Miranda to get a hit, minus 104. We've got pretty close plus odds on both of these today. I will be on yes runs first inning just because you got to fade the public, and I'll be on the Cubs just because I want the Cardinals to lose because the Brewers need to make some ground up. So, yeah, we'll be double fading, and we got our combo there. All right. Home run time. Who are you going with today? Obviously, there's a lot of good pitchers on the mound, but there's also a lot of really bad ones on the mound. Who are you going with today to go yard on today's slate?
This one's tough for me because I think the first thing that kind of pops out is all these guys versus lefties, whether it's Goldie and Arenado in the game we just talked about, Betts a little bit later in that night game versus Lauer. Oh, this is a tough one, man. This is an interesting slate. I kind of like Austin Riley too. Contreras obviously been a little bit wild, but he throws the ball pretty hard, and when people hit it, they hit it pretty hard back. I'm gonna go with Nolan Arenado. He's been really good to me this season. Obviously got a good matchup against the lefty right here. His slugging is pretty dramatically different. I'm gonna trust Nolan Arenado to get the job done.
What's the line for him?
Plus 290 on FanDuel, which is a little worse than I thought. Oh, it's plus 235 on DraftKings though, so I guess we're getting a little bit of value in comparison.
All right, I got it. I will be rolling with the new power stroke of Alec Bohm. Give me Alec Bohm tonight facing off against Luis Sessa. I've watched a lot of Luis Sessa with the Reds. The dude gives up absolute nukes. 5 home runs to righties through 20 innings this year. 288 batting average with 500 slugging. Give me that. Sign me up. I think we're going to see this Reds pen just absolutely implode today versus these guys. And give me Alec Bohm. Dude's just been, 2 homers yesterday? What is this guy on, dude? He's probably on the Kyle Schwarber juice train or whatever to get it going up there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, guess what his number is real quick. Just one quick guess. What do you think he's at?
I'm going to guess it's like plus 400, 420
plus
maybe?
630 for a home run right here.
On what book?
On Bohm, plus 630 to hit a home run. On FanDuel.
DraftKings has it at 475.
Really? Wow.
Dude, what are they doing? I'm never going to DraftKings again. Never use DraftKings Sportsbook.
But yeah, together, Bohm and Arenado's plus 2747, which I think is one of the higher ones we've had between just two. Obviously, Bohm juicing us up a little bit right here, getting a nice number there.
600. Damn, dude. I was not expecting that. I mean, they're in Philly, too. It's not like this is a bad hitting park. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that is it, guys. 35 minutes. We had a little bit of football talk this morning. Stu, what do you got for the people? You got anything before we head out here? We're at our time limit. We're going to go through quick.
Yeah, I had a blast going through NFL. That was obviously the first about 13 minutes of the show before we then did MLB stuff right here. Is a good little foreshadowing for what it's going to be like. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to go check out Pikkit. Mentioned a couple times. Obviously, early in the day, the Taylor fade stuff is going to change. The most popular plays of the day will change over the course of the day as more bets come in. So you guys are going to want to be able to follow that all by yourselves. If you use code PTP, they'll send you between $3 and $100 when you sign up. Completely free app. Obviously, have the bet tracker, have the social features where you guys can go talk to us. And Brendan just mentioned the Philadelphia Park factors, which I also just read a second ago, and I was going to bring that up too. So good little home run tidbit right there. But hope you guys enjoyed the show. Obviously, check out Pikkit. And yeah, thanks for checking our NFL and MLB stuff out today.
Yeah, for sure. And so you're telling me I'm about to get maybe a $4 CLV on Bohm. He's going to be like plus 225 before the game starts. So make sure you lock him in early at plus 600 that we got here early. But thank you guys. Yeah, like I said, we will have multiple shows for football. I know I've had a couple questions about that because we only did one last year. But we're going to be able to break it up a little bit. And obviously Friday will be mostly for you guys, right? We'll drop our bets, but also have more of that Q&A stuff because I know a lot of people like to bring their stuff, kind of get that last solidified lineup that they're trying to do, solidified betting card, because obviously Friday night and Saturday both have college football in there too. So I know both of us will be doing that again this year for college football. So it's going to be a fun one. I'm very, very excited, and hopefully we'll be able to make a lot of money for you guys here on the show. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you Wednesday at our normal time here and bringing you some more bets for some baseball action on our last week of only baseball action, which is going to be pretty fun to do. So thank you guys so much. Have a good one and best of luck on your bets. Peace.